On the edge of the Yorkshire moors is the picturesque town of Kirby Moorside, home to auctioneer Angus Ashworth. He's on a mission to help some well-known faces.
Hello! Welcome to my humble home.
Hello!
Hello!
Turn their odds and ends.
It's just sat there, collecting dust.
It's valuable and should be looked after. Of course, we just use it for a fruit bowl.
Into piles of cash.
£200 to £300 there, maybe £300 to £500.
So that might fetch a couple of quid.
It would.
Come along as he visits their homes.
Welcome to West Sussex.
You're very welcome, sir, very welcome.
Welcome to Chez McGee.
What a wonderful place.
And uses his expert knowledge
They're one of the nicest things I've seen in a long time.
to uncover hidden gems.
There is something else I think will excite you. Very glamorous.
And I had some big earrings. I was really showing off.
Sentimental family heirlooms.
They were my granddad. My granddad was my hero.
And the slightly odd.
Do you like my lips?
Very nice lips.
Children's shoes, which are a little bit spooky.
Then invites them back to his Yorkshire Auction House
And that's paid for my dinner.
to watch him put them under his gavel. Kirby Moorside in North Yorkshire is home to the Rydale Auction House. With its sale room jam-packed with antiques, collectibles and jewellery, every item has a story to tell.
We all hold on to things and items that have memories and connections for us, but ultimately there comes a point when you've got to create some space and let go of things, and that's the great thing about auctions, you know, things go to new homes.
Today, Angus and right-hand man Pete are meeting a magical TV personality to arrange a sale of some personal items.
You're right, Pete.
Yep.
I have got an absolute treat for you. Guess whose house we're off to?
Go on.
The Debbie McGee. We're off down to her house.
When?
Now, Pete, we've got to go. Go jump
Come
in the
on,
van.
then.
We're off.
I remember her as a kid.
I know, she was on telly all the time, wasn't she?
Yeah.
She's great.
Come on, then.
Come on, then. All right. I've never seen you so keen.
Watched and loved by millions, Debbie McGee has been on our screens since the 70s. Half of one of the world's most successful magical duos, she and her husband, Paul Daniels, achieved international fame with their hugely popular TV shows. And Angus is coming to see what she's ready to pull out of the hat.
Debbie McGee, here we come. They were quite into antiques. I mean, I do worry she won't be able to part with things. I get the impression this is kind of a test for her, you know, see if she can let go of a few bits.
No, well, she's done the first step. We're on our way down to see her.
I lost my husband 5.5 years ago now. And it's been a long road of not wanting to let go of his things. They're all memories of our life together. So this sale is kind of the beginning of losing the old Debbie McGee, and I'm moving on.
After a 200-mile drive, Angus and Pete arrive at Debbie's home in Berkshire.
Look at that, right on the banks of the Thames. It's gorgeous.
That is nice.
Have you been practicing your magic?
No, but I should have done.
I don't know any magic. Apart from when I sell stuff, that's magic.
Married for almost 30 years, Debbie and Paul moved to their modern dream home in 2008. And they filled it with curios and treasures from their life together. Angus hopes to be going back up north with some of them, but only if Debbie is happy.
Hello there, Angus.
Morning, are you right?
Welcome to Chez McGee.
What a wonderful place.
Oh, well, you're going to see more of it now.
Thanks.
Come in.
Thank you very much, thanks.
Many of the things here, unsurprisingly, relate to Paul and the world of magic.
I have got a couple of pieces in here that I couldn't let you go home without seeing. And,
Oh.
yes,
Wow, look at that. That is wonderful.
French, of course. It works, you wind it up, and then he taps his wand and lifts the hat, and a different item comes up each time.
I mean, that is wonderful and, you know, very rare.
So I get to look at it every day, Angus, not to make you jealous or anything.
So we're taking that, is that right?
No.
No, OK.
No, no.
The Automaton magician. Absolutely fantastic. And automaton is basically a moving object, and that at that time was magical in its own right. There was no such thing as TV or radio in the sort of early mid-Victorian period, and something like this would have been an incredible joy to see. Very collectible. Then add on to the fact that it was Paul's, it's worth a lot of money. But there's no way Debbie's going to let me take that, so I will have to admire it and leave it where it is.
I'm attached to most of the things that I've got, so letting go is really hard for me.
In Debbie's spare bedroom, something catches Angus's eye that she might be prepared to let go of.
Paul had it before we got married, and in our other house it was very oldie-worldy. It went beautifully, but here, as you can see, it's much more modern. So I thought it's another item that maybe we could sell.
Absolutely, and you're right, it is antique. It's well into the, sort of mid-19th century, so pre-Victorian, earlier than that. And what's unusual about it is actually these finials, the little acorns, which are quite nice. Sadly, this type of furniture's really gone off the boil. They don't set the world on fire, unfortunately, in terms of value, but, it's a nice, good period antique.
I've also got another mirror over there.
That's a later one. That's a Victorian one, so slightly later in date than this one, but, those two would be absolutely fine.
Mirror, mirror on the wall, who's the best removal man of all? Pete, of course, and while he starts packing, Debbie shows Angus some of Paul's things in the dining room.
This little thing with a little sheep on.
What's this?
Well, Paul, loved toys, really. I don't know where this came from, but I think, from what I can remember, because it was quirky, he bought it. It's like noughts and crosses. So you put them, and then, it's a bit different, isn't it?
Well, that's all right. We like fun.
Right.
Debbie and Paul first met in 1979 when she became his magician's assistant.
I went to the Royal Ballet School where you had elocution lessons, so you spoke the Queen's English. So when I met Paul, I was awfully posh. And so he was always saying, "No, Debbie, it's not Bath, it's Bath."
You were in the Iranian ballet, wasn't it? I mean, that must have been, people wouldn't think of that now, would they?
No, I mean, I was 19, needed a job, and they were paying a fortune. Yeah, so off I took to Iran, but I was there when the revolution broke out. Came back and auditioned for a modern show. So that's how I met Paul,
Okay.
Yeah, and I didn't like magic, but I just needed a job.
Well, I'm afraid when you come to the auction, my 4-year-old's practising a trick for you. So,
Oh, wonderful!
yeah,
I shall look forward to that.
The Paul Daniels Magic Show was regularly watched by 15 million viewers in the UK and sold to 42 other countries.
And presumably, sort of, over yours and Paul's career, you must have travelled a lot.
We did, and we've got loads from Japan because we used to go over and do TV shows there. This is a Japanese tea bowl. We went to a tea ceremony in Takasukishi, and it was made and painted by a famous Japanese ceramic artist.
Okay.
And I've got, it's quite pretty, isn't it? But of course, I don't really drink tea out of a bowl.
I mean, we drink a lot of tea in Yorkshire, as you'll know, but that's a big bowl of tea, isn't it?
It is, isn't it? It's translated into Danny Roo Summer, which is Mr. Daniels.
And a really interesting piece. And is there anything else in here?
I have this little item. It's a ring, diamond and sapphire, so I won't touch it. But it belonged to Paul's mother, who died at 97, 2 years before Paul. And it's none of the family wanted it, and it's too big for me, and I've got little hands, so I can't wear loads of stones.
Yeah.
So I just thought that might be a nice little item to sell.
That would be, absolutely, yeah, no, that's very nice. Jewellery always sells well. People like sparkly things, and, the stones aren't the biggest. It's diamond and sapphire, not massive value, but that means it's affordable. Who doesn't like a little bit of sparkle?
In the walk-in wardrobe, there is more Debbie is ready to say goodbye to.
I did Strictly Come Dancing in 2017.
You were very good, weren't you?
Oh, thank you very much. Well, I did get through to the final, so say no more. So these were a pair of my actual shoes that I wore on Strictly.
Brilliant.
And we cut the toes off because the toes were pointed. All the pro girls gave me all the tips of what to do, and soak your feet in vodka and it stops them hurting as much. And this is the bag that they came in. The little item in front of you is actually a dress. And
I'll tell you what, it's quite a heavy dress, isn't it?
It is, and these are all chains.
Yep.
And I wore it to Ascot one year with a hat. It's very movie world, isn't it?
It's very glamorous.
And I had some big earrings, and I was really showing off. Do you think hats would sell?
Well, yeah, I mean, we don't necessarily get huge amounts. It's not quite a Yorkshire flat cap, is it? But look at that. Oh.
I think it might be better that way around on me.
You know, it's not the sort of thing we get every week. The market's fairly limited, but obviously if it's a particularly high-end make or designer brand, then, yeah, it's going to do well. And we you know, you've got to remember we're selling on the internet to the world.
It's not just inside homes that Angus can spot a treasure. It's outside as well.
Garden stuff is as popular as interior bits, and chimney pots actually sell quite well. That's a crown top, because it looks like a crown, hence the name, crown top. And that one's in good order, so that will sell well. Good crown top, pot like that, 30 to 50, 40 to 60 pounds. People like planting strawberries and things like that in them. So I'll get Pete to get those on the van, and I think I'll just sit here with a cup of tea and watch the river life.
What was that about? You worried about me getting an heart attack?
Poor Pete. I hope it makes Angus do the driving back to Kirby Moorside.
If you want a hand, just say. I'm just...
Yeah, go on then.
What?
Can I have an hand?
The thing is, there's a swan. I'm just making sure it doesn't get in trouble, you know, swimming.
As much as Angus would love to watch the swans all day, they had better get a move on. It's time they got the van packed.
I have to say, the whole day's been a truly magical experience. I think Debbie's really looking forward to the auction day, and she'll enjoy it. I mean, she loves Yorkshire. You know, Paul himself was from Yorkshire, so let's see. We'll see if we can find somebody that would like one of her dresses. Hopefully we'll do all right with those.
I'm really hoping that having let go of some items that have always been quite important to me because they've got memories attached to them, that it'll be good for my brain and clear the cobwebs away and say, I've got the memory of it, I don't need the item. I'll look forward to seeing you again.
See you on auction day.
Yeah, thanks for everything. Bye. Bye, Pete.
Back at Kirby Moorside, Pete is helped by Gary to unload Debbie's light but precious load.
Got some nice stuff. It's got quite a few hats. Obviously, there's some dresses. And it may look like we ain't got a lot, but what we have got off has been nice, so that's it. So I'll leave you to sort through them if you want to.
Yeah. We'll get them lotted up, ready for the sale.
Yeah, right then.
Pete hands over to Rydale's team of valuers and cataloguers.
They are nicely made. They've been well worn as well, actually. But they've even got a name written inside.
I'm very intrigued to see what these do.
Yeah, so am I.
I think that'll be good fun to see what they make.
At least a week before the auction, detailed entries go live in the online brochure, and then every item needs to be put out for visitors to see.
How are we going to get
hang
on there?
Including the dress Debbie wore for the Christmas special of the Paul Daniels Magic Show back in 1993, before Charlotte and George were even born.
It's going to work.
I think Debbie McGee is too small for this.
It's not going to get over the...
Smaller than this mannequin.
God, it's a bit tight.
Oh. That's progress.
Don't let us slip out. Hang on.
Hang on.
No, it's not going to go on.
12 days after Angus's visit, Debbie has travelled up north with her younger sister Donna. They are nice and early, so they can have a good nosy around.
So it's quite weird walking in, seeing myself. But yeah, so that was all the bits of memorabilia and stuff. Now we're here, you can really feel it quite, you know. I'm excited but really nervous because, are you? What if they don't sell or they'd only go for like £5, £10?
But it's just exciting being here, though.
Well, no, but if it only goes for £10, I'll be like...
Yeah, heartbroken.
Yeah.
I think, you know, maybe her clothes, a hat and that sort of thing, her hats are going to be a slight struggle. One, because, you know, Debbie's very petite, so they're not necessarily going to fit everybody. They're not necessarily the most commercial.
Angus's hopes lie with Rydale's internet bidders.
We're bidding online and, you know, we've got some commission bids and stuff, so Yeah, fingers crossed.
It's nice to feel that I'm decluttering. The only one is that dress and cape, so I hope it goes for a decent amount of money.
Because you're emotionally attached to it, I
Yeah,
suppose, aren't you?
but no, I don't have regrets.
Walking around this corner, that's it, literally.
Before Angus takes to the rostrum, there's just time for Debbie to meet the next generation of great magicians, particularly Angus's son, Fenner.
Hello!
Show Debbie your magic trick that you've been learning.
Oh, wow! Does it go back together again? Oh, you have got two thumbs. I thought they'd both disappeared. Oh, that's very clever.
Come on, that is going to work.
Now it's Angus's turn to take centre stage.
Really, auctioneers are definitely a bit of theatre. They're actors, aren't they? So we are hoping to see Angus at his best.
But it's not a solo performance. Conjuring up the online bids are glamorous assistants Emma and Heather. While sale room manager Jeremy, glamorous in his own way, is on the phones. George is today's porter. Angus's mum Caroline is here to keep an eye on her son.
So here we are.
I know, it's so exciting.
Yeah.
The lovely Debbie McGee collection. There we go. Hello. This is when we find out if I can perform magic or not.
First up, her famous dancing shoes.
£30 start me, £30 surely. £30, and you, £30 a bid at 30, 30 straight in at £30 at 30 it is then, 2, 32 is it now, 32, 35, 38, 38, 42, 5, 8 is it, 48, 50, £50 it is then at £50 it is, 5, 60, at £60 it is then at £60 at 65, anywhere is it now, 70, at £70 it is then at £70, somebody else got small feet at £70 it is then, we all done the Strictly shoes at £70.
The shoes are off to an internet bidder in Tyne and Wear.
I am really pleased with that.
Summer dress with chainmail on it, and this was worn at Ascot, I do believe.
It was, indeed.
Yeah. Who would have thought my mum would be a model? Not me. The other hat, Mum. I don't expect you to get in the dress, it won't fit.
It goes on the side of your head.
£30 start me, let's go. £30.
You should buy me this one and then send me somewhere nice.
Yeah, there's a lovely nursing home down the road.
Lots of laughs,
Please.
but still no bids.
At £30, I'm selling at 30.
Next up is Debbie's favourite dress. Can that add some extra sparkle to the proceedings?
My children saw this and they said, is it the Queen's dress?
Oh, lovely. I hope you said yes.
I did, yes. I said the Queen of Magic. We're off. Bids on this at 35, 80, 42, 42, 45, 48, 55, 65, 70. 70 bid with me on commission at 70 it is at 70. At 70 it's against the net at 70. 75 online, commissions are out. At £75 it is then at £75, 80 anywhere is it now? At 75, 80, £80 it is then. At 80, 85 it is then at £85. 85 it is then at 85, 90 anywhere. 90, 95, 100 surely.
Good.
And it's got a little shawl as well. 100, 110. £110 it is then at £110 it is then at 110. At 110 for the Christmas special at £110 I'm selling at 110.
Yeah, good.
Success for Debbie's precious Christmas dress.
Lovely.
Angus sells a winter hat, which was worn to turn on the York Christmas lights.
Happy with that.
Then two more stylish hats, off to new homes. Glittery headphones from her time on Strictly.
The gallery's up at 38.
And even the chimneys bring in a pretty penny, making a total of 5 of Debbie's things all off to the same internet bidder.
Oh, good.
And now it's time for some of those items with a connection to Paul.
This is like a Yorkshire noughts and crosses, this, isn't it? There we go. Well, we're off. We've got £18. 18 and bid. £18 it is, then £18 at 18. 20, anywhere is it now at 18? 20, £22 it's out at £22. Who would have thought at £22 it is then? I'm selling at £22.
Good. Yeah, I've no idea what that would have been worth.
Will Debbie and Paul's tea bowl from Japan be big in Yorkshire?
30 bid straight in on commission at £30 it is then. At £30 at 32, 5, 8, 40. At £40 it is then at 40. At 42, anywhere is it now? At £40 at 40, 2, 5, 8, £48, 50. £50 we're at then at 50 it is then at 50. We're all done at £50. I'm selling away then at £50. 50.
Sold to an internet bidder in North Yorkshire.
I think I'm going to be emptying the house.
Yeah. Bring everything
sell
else.
everything and buy all new.
Finally, familiar territory for Angus.
There's some proper antiques. Late Victorian mahogany frame dressing table mirror there. There we go. £30 a bit at 30. Good Victorian mirror at £30 it is then at 30. 32, 32, 35, 38, 42. £42 at 42 it is then at 42. Selling then at 42. Last call at 42.
The other mirror is grabbed up too. And then it's time for Paul's mum's ring.
The 9-carat gold diamond and sapphire ring there. We're off 55, 65, 75, 85, 95, 100, 110. £110 wrapped then at 110, at 110, at 110, at £110, at 120. At 120 gavels up at 120.
Yeah, nice ring, isn't
Yeah,
it?
I think I might be surprised at how much you've actually got.
Yeah, that's good.
Yeah, all good. And got rid of clutter out of the house and the garden.
Debbie is giving whatever she's made today to charity.
Well done!
I'm so happy you're so excited.
I want to know what the final price is.
I mean, you know, some things did better than others, but you had one internet fan who just obviously very much likes you, buying a lot of your stuff, so...
Dear, but at least I've got one fan. I mean, that's really good to know, Angus. So, yeah, so come on.
So come on, so you'll be...
Don't keep me waiting.
You'll be walking away with £721. I've never seen anybody so excited.
Thank you so much. We really had a great time.
That's fine. Well, I'll go and enjoy it. I think you're going to go enjoy the weekend in Yorkshire.
I'm really happy. We've really had a lovely time. We want to come back.
The auction house sells such a wide range of items that Angus makes sure every member of his team has a specialist subject. Charlotte came to Rydale after finishing her Masters in art history, and one of her specialisms is vintage dolls and toys, making her the perfect companion for today's mission.
Hello.
Hey, you're all right?
I'm good, thank you. How are you?
Well, I think I've got a treat for you today. But it's feral track, but it's a guy called Rav Wilding.
Oh, okay.
Oh, OK, yeah. I thought you'd like that one. Come on.
Well, he did Crime Watch, didn't he?
Yeah.
Did you say he had some dolls?
Yeah, he's got some dolls. He's inherited stuff, I think.
It's a 200-mile journey to Rav's, pretty long by Angus's standards.
Do you know what, Charlotte? Considering we've come south to Bedfordshire, feeling a bit sleepy.
Are you?
Yeah. So we're off to Bedfordshire.
Oh, okay.
Get it off to bed.
Yeah.
If she can suffer Angus's jokes, hopefully poor Charlotte will survive the long journey. Angus and Charlotte are on their way to the house of TV presenter Rav Wilding. Former soldier, copper, and now one of our most recognisable presenters, Rav Wilding, best known for Crime Watch, hates crime. So Angus and Charlotte better be on their best behaviour.
I think he'd be quite an interesting guy, actually, because he's ex-military, so we've got that in common.
He's been a detective as well, hasn't he?
Yeah, well, you're quite into your crime.
I am.
Well, not you're into crime.
Seasoned criminal.
I don't think he's long had a baby, so I think he's just having a bit of a sort out, really. Yeah.
Rav and his wife moved out of London 3 years ago to this family home.
I think the biggest thing that I've been up to recently is raising a child for the first time. So I now have a 1-year-old, Poppy, and that has kept me very, very busy. Morning, both.
Morning, you right?
Hi.
Come on in.
Thanks.
Thank you.
Through here. Oh. A bit taller, isn't he, than you, I think, you know?
About 7 foot.
Not everyone has a cardboard cutout of themselves in their own house. I mean,
What you expected, or perhaps not?
what's that all about?
So, I do a show called Crime Watch. They'd go around the country and basically sell the show to the police officers and say, come to us and we can help solve your crimes.
Yeah.
Now, I wasn't personally there, but I was there in spirit, as you could see. And when I left the nighttime show many years ago, they gave me this as a parting gift.
So, I mean, is this something you'd like us to sell?
I like the way that you're asking me as a genuine question.
Yeah.
I mean, I'd like you to try.
You know, you're a good-looking guy. I'm sure we'll find a home for it. Let me pass you.
I never even dreamed of television as a career. I wanted to be a police officer, like my grandfather was. I'd sit on his knee and he'd tell me about the police.
Now with a child himself, he settles for policing his own home.
Mirrored coffee table, it's probably about 3 years old, 2 or 3 years old, and it's a nice item, but I've now got a 1-year-old. She's walking and she's falling over everything, and this cabinet is something I'm very scared of. Now, it's not perfect. You can see there's a few little nibbles.
No, definitely take that. I totally get it from the child aspect. Rav's mirrored coffee table. It's not quite what we expect to see in a nice Yorkshire cottage. But, you know, he wants it out the way. It's a safety thing for his new child, and, you know, I'm sure online we'll find somebody for it. So it's win-win for everybody.
But it's not the non-child-friendly table that has caught Charlotte's eye.
Here we have 2 dolls.
Oh, wow.
And all I know is they're something called Sasha dolls.
Okay.
They're my mum's, and she's had them for many years, and she's quite attached to them, but if there was the right price, she would be willing to sell.
Charlotte's our dolls and teddy bear person.
Is it 1950s, 60s?
She thinks they're that sort of age, yeah.
I mean, we do get quite a lot of interest with dolls. I mean, I think the ones that we've had through tend to be kind of older, maybe porcelain dolls.
Bit scary to me. Not gonna lie.
Not a fan of them.
No. They're not for me, and I'd be quite pleased if they're actually out of the house, if I'm honest.
I can't wait to do a bit of research, see how many were made, see if there's any features which might make them more expensive, and then hopefully put a good price on them.
With quite an eclectic collection so far, Angus gets a police escort for the rest of the house.
OK, so in here, first of all, I want to show you these 2 mirrors. Now, that mirror...
It's stylish, isn't it?
Yeah, that actually cost £850. It was a lot of money.
I mean, it's nice. It's in an older style, although it's a modern gilt frame. I mean, mirrors are a fairly good seller. You know, they're a good statement piece that somebody can buy as a feature piece in a house. We wouldn't get anywhere near that sort of money for it.
There is something else I'm going to show you which I think will excite you a little bit more.
It.
You've clocked it.
Tudor wristwatch.
Yeah.
Yeah, all boxed up. So what's the history of this? Ralph?
So I actually bought this quite recently.
Okay.
I bought it because I knew that watches like this tend to hold their value fairly well. As you know, we have a 1-year-old running around the house, and 1-year-olds need nursery fees. So I think really the money would be better spent on that.
Rolex own the Tudor brand, so there's still expensive watches, but it's the slightly more affordable Rolex. There's a good market for it, and watches are becoming incredibly collectible. You've got all the paperwork there and everything with it, so that all helps. It's immaculate like new. Obviously, you've only recently bought it, so it's whether we can get that price again, but we could set a reserve on it and see where we get on.
So as long as it's over £2,000, I'd be pretty happy. So.
I think there's a chance there. I'll do my best for you.
Brilliant.
A lot of these things, I think, are practical moves for Rav, about, getting rid of things that aren't practical for a young child. Luxuries, a wristwatch, do we really need that, or do we need childcare fees?
There is more to investigate in the garage.
OK, so this is my slightly cluttered man cave.
I was going to say, this is definitely your room, isn't it?
And this is not baby-proofed either. This may or may not be of interest. Yeah. Now, that watch there is a pocket watch that was given to my granddad on my mum's side.
OK.
By his mother, and that's definitely over 100 years old.
Yeah, OK, well, it's silver, and this would be classed as a lady's pocket watch, because it's smaller in size. So, very pretty. Again, pocket watches, very collectible. They don't do huge amounts unless they're particularly special maker or the movement's something special. One like that would be sort of £30 to £50 is probably all we'd get. But if it's a family piece, then you might want to keep hold of that. But it's a nice thing.
Over 100 years old, and it might not actually go for very much money at all.
Is this meant to be in here, Rav?
I think my mum's chucked that in. I'm not a jewellery person. Yeah. But, yeah, that looks like Del Boy has left something behind.
Well, it is a little bit Del Boy-esque. And this is to sell, is it?
I mean, I very much doubt that would get anything, but yes, potentially, if I mean, it's hideous.
Well, yeah, I mean,
but if you want
but it's a George V half-sovereign ring. So, there's £200 to £300 there, maybe £300 to £500.
I thought it was going to be about £2.
No, that's really good. We like that.
The ring is part of a long tradition of turning real coins into jewellery.
And what's nice is it's called a loose mount. So if you see, look, we can spin that coin round.
Right.
There's a bit of play in there.
Yeah.
So it means the coin itself hasn't been damaged.
Yeah.
It can still be collected as a coin.
Well, there you go.
And then you've got the monarch on the back.
Yeah.
And we've got a date, 1912. So, a couple of years before World War I. Yeah.
Wow. God,
there we go.
Hawkeye. That's me told.
Thank you very much, Mum.
I do want to show you this. This is a leather jacket that I actually bought for one of my first TV jobs. I was working in the Met Police as a detective. Someone saw an advert for a new police presenter, and then my colleague said they were going to do my application for me, and with the best will in the world, I did not trust 10 experienced detectives to do my application, thank you very much. So I applied and I did all the screen tests and kept getting called back.
I mean, it will sell. It's a good name.
There is another little space I want you to take a look at, and that is up there.
Up in the loft are some items from Rav's dad's side of the family, who originally came from the island of Mauritius.
And we've got loads of airmail letters, so obviously writing from Mauritius. First aid covers here, which is like a presentation set of stamps that were made to commemorate the Olympics. These are Mauritius Olympic 1988 stamps. They would sell as a group lot, but if they're only going to do sort of £30 to £50, 40 to 60, he might decide actually, he'll hang on to them. Right, Ralph. Right. I've been rooting around, crawling around your attic.
I mean, go on. How'd you get on?
It would be saleable as an overall collection, but we're not talking hundreds of pounds or anything like that. But I suspect some of these are quite personal, because a lot of them have got...
Yeah, they are. My dad came here in the late 60s, early 70s to train as a nurse. And that's where he met my mum. They were both student nurses. Right. But sadly, my granddad was never able to come over, so he used to write.
Yeah.
And so it's a lovely, sentimental collection, and it's clearly not worth that much financially, and I think it would have to stay with us for that reason.
You've got Rav's heritage in a box there, all those Mauritius stamps, and actually commercially not worth that much money. And is it really worth letting go of that for the sake of £40, £50? No, of course it's not. My job's not there to make every penny out of people. I've got a business and I've got to be profitable. But sometimes it's knowing where that line is.
Angus and Charlotte are still going away with lots of other things, though.
I mean, the star item in terms of value is the Tudor wristwatch. He's going to want a reserve on it. I'm hoping we do well for him, because those nursery fees are expensive.
Speaking to them about what the items were, whether it was dolls, whether it was my grandfather's stamps from Mauritius, really brought back some such lovely memories for me.
Brilliant. Cheers, Ralph.
Thank you so much. It's been a real eye-opener for me. Fingers crossed, it goes well at the auction.
Well, we'll see you on auction day. Cheers, thanks.
Drive safe. I don't know if I'm going to be pleasantly surprised or disappointed with how much things do or probably don't go for. I have no idea what to expect.
Right, there we go.
In Kirby Moorside, North Yorkshire, Harriet helps Angus unload the van after his trip to see ex-policeman and TV presenter Rav Wilding.
Now, I know what you've always wanted in life.
Right.
He's tall. You like a tall guy, don't you? Not bad looking, is he? Nice guy.
Wow, he's got nice teeth.
Yeah, and he's better than, real boyfriend. If you get mad, you can just knock him over.
How am I going to carry him?
I don't know, just put him on your arm.
Over the next few days, the Rydale staff will catalogue Rav's things and put a brief description on their website so that potential bidders can see them in the run-up to the auction. On his rounds, Jeremy has spotted Rav's Tudor watch.
Fantastic watch, isn't it?
I think it's a good model of Black Bay. There's a lot of watch enthusiasts out there, isn't there?
Yeah, oh yeah, and this sort of thing, as you say, box, papers, the whole works, that's what they're looking for, isn't it?
Well, a lot of them buy them as investment pieces now as well, aren't they?
Yeah.
Rav bought the watch only 2 years ago and has set the reserve at £2,300.
We need to get a reasonable amount for it. I think it's, possibly achievable. Rav didn't buy it that long ago, and actually sometimes it's about selling at the right time. I think actually in the long run, he will be absolutely fine. He'll probably make money on it. He's put a fixed reserve on it, so if he doesn't make that, you know, he gets to keep his watch.
And there are other items with reserves too.
So these dolls are quite collectible, the condition's good. Unfortunately, they have a little kind of dimple on the upper lip.
Unfortunately for Rav's mum, that dimple dates production of the dolls to post-1960.
These dolls were a bit older, and if they were 1940s, and they could probably be making around the £1,000 mark. Unfortunately, I don't think these ones will fetch that.
Not old enough for the big money, what might they go for?
Rav's mum's put a reserve of £200 on, which I think may even be a bit optimistic. Hopefully they'll make, you know, a good price on the day.
Fingers crossed there will be some high bidders. With everything in place, it's almost time for the sale, and Rav is getting ready for his first ever auction.
I've just got here to the auction house and I wasn't really very nervous, but I can already hear auctions going on inside for other lots, and now suddenly I'm starting to get a little bit excited, actually. Angus!
Rav, how you doing?
Very well, good to see you. I'm excited about this.
Good, good. Well, you should be. Come on in.
Yeah, can't wait to see it.
It's not just Rav's items going to auction today. There are many other interesting things in evidence around the room.
I used to live there. And here you are. That, I can tell you, is a really weird feeling to have all these amazing things in an auction house and to see me, and to know that someone, hopefully, is going to be going home with a 7-foot Rav later today.
Rav's got some interesting bits. It's not going to be the easiest of sells, but I think we'll do all right.
The seats are filling up and the auction is about to start. Assisting Angus with the online bids are Emma and Heather on the rostrum, and Jeremy is in charge of the phones. Nick is on porter duty.
Rav Wilding.
This is me, this is me.
Not quite in the flesh. Great thing is you don't have to feed this one or anything. He's, you know, it's just there in your room. So if anybody wants a Rav in their life, £30 I'm bid. At £30 it is, then at £30. At £30, at 30, at 30. Are you a fan of this one, ladies? Obviously. At £30 it is, at £30. I don't know who left the bid, Charlotte or Harriet. I think they're having you 6 months of the year. At £30 it is, then at £30.
£30 for me? I thought it was going to be a fiver, so I'm happy with 30.
A mirrored coffee table.
Coffee table that I had to get rid of because I was scared of the baby falling on it.
Quite a few. I have got £15 bid. At 15. At £15. At 15. I know it's not a lot, but, you know, mirrored coffee tables in North Yorkshire. At £15. Just think of your daughter's safety. At £15 it is.
A bargain. Off to a child-free home.
This is a genuine Hugo Boss black leather jacket.
I think it would look good if you modelled it. Go on, give it to Angus.
This is what you wore for your first TV, that's right, wasn't it?
That's right, yeah.
Yeah.
I did, yeah. I bought it for some of my first TV jobs.
I mean, we usually go for tweed up in Yorkshire.
Look at that,
This is,
it's perfect. Biker auctioneer now.
Bid 50 and bid 55, we're off.
Oh,
at
here we
55,
go.
60, anywhere is it now?
Here we
at
go.
60 at £60 is it now? 60 at £60. This cost you about 500 quid, didn't it, Rav?
And the rest.
Yeah, at 60, £65, 70, anywhere is it now? At 65, 70 is it, yes? 70, 75, 75, £80. Then at 80, we're all done, the gavel's up.
I'm happy with this.
85 it is, then
I'm
at
very
85.
happy with this.
90 and bid at £90. I'm selling at 90.
Very happy with that.
Next, it's on to Rav's statement mirror.
Very elaborate mirror, there it is at the bottom of the staircase. Lovely, isn't it? There we go. You after this one? You just smiled when it came up. There we go. There we go.
The two ladies at the front are looking pretty taken with it.
Off 50, £50, 60, 65, 70, 85.
Come on, ladies, bid high, bid high. Come on.
100.
This mirror cost over £800.
180.
So
190.
get in there.
200. 210. 220. 230. 240. 250. 260. 270. 280.
It's a good item.
290. 300. 300. 320. 320. Somebody looks very disappointed.
The ladies are out. It's left to the internet bidders.
At £380 for the mirror. At £380. 400. At £400 it is, then at £400. At £400, we all done. You get Rav with it. At £400, I'm selling that at £400.
Very, very happy with that. £400 for a mirror.
It's on to the dolls. Can they fetch Rav's mum's reserve price of £200?
First of the Sasha dolls. There we go. We've had quite a lot of interest in
They
these.
have to do well. She wants them to do well. She wants a really high price. That's the
70
problem.
here. 5, 80, 5, 90, 5, 100, 110.
110? Okay. That's not going to be
110. All nets are out. 120. Anywhere is it now? 120. 120 bid at 120. You've all gone quiet on me. At 120. At 120.
Wasn't quite enough.
We've got a bit more interest in this one. We go straight in at 120, 130, 140, 150, 150, and we're out at 150. 150 it is.
Bids for the second doll are higher, but it won't be enough to persuade Rav's mum to part with her.
150.
Not quite enough to sell on that one. The reserve was set a little bit too high.
The dolls will be heading back home to Rav's mum. Next is the most expensive item of the day. Rav set a high reserve on this one, £2,300.
Tudor Black Bay. I've got £1,500 bid. 1,500 and bid at 1,500. £1,500 for the Black Bay at £1,500. Cheap if you will go buy this. It costs you well over free. At 1,500, 1,550, 16, 1,650, 17, 1,750, 18, 1,850, 19, 1,950. 1950 at 1950. Got to have £2,000 surely. At 2,000, where is it now? Otherwise, we'll move on.
No, didn't sell.
The windfall from the watch was not to be.
Might sell.
The final item of Rav's is the sovereign ring that he thought might be worth only a couple of quid.
We've got interest in this. We can go straight in at 150, 220, 230, 240. 240 it is now. 240, 250, 260, 270, 280. Then at £280 it is. Then at 280. At £280.
That I am really, really happy with. That just sold for nearly £300, and I genuinely thought it was a bit of junk. I wasn't even going to give it to Angus. He found that. So I'm very happy with that. Very, very happy with that.
As the auction draws to a close, Rav wants to find out how much he's made from the items that he was able to part with.
Hi.
Are you right?
Yeah.
A little bit mixed results. But
yeah.
The dolls, which, and you know, we nearly got there. I think we got to 150 and one.
We did. They belonged to my mother, and she wouldn't part unless it was the right price, and she's going to get them back. So it's still not the end of the world.
And you've got to keep your mum happy.
Very.
I know it's not fortunes, and we didn't get the watch away, but you're still going to be walking away with £853.
Oh, well, there you go. I didn't see that coming at all.
Yeah.
Very, very happy with that. So thank you to you and your team for making it happen.
That's great.
So that's about 3 weeks of childcare. Brilliant.
Yeah, I know. Tell me about it.
What else can I sell? I never knew what to expect with an auction before. I just assumed it was really high-value items that I would never be able to afford with people that were nothing like me. And today, seeing what was up for sale and what did sell and the people in the auction house actually were just like me. So, yeah, I think I'd definitely go to one again.